Social media.
No, I don't want it done, thanks.
Oh, I'm doing it.
Well, it's our company and I'm asking you not to do it.
Well, I can see it from the road, so...
Yeah, well, can you not film, please?
Well, I will, but I'll also...
Call the police, because you've not...
Call the police for someone with a camera?
Well, yeah, because you've done it them over there.
Yes. And I got my drone as well, so we'll be sending the drone over to get some drone footage, so...
You're not doing it?
If you're doing 911, not 999, 101, sorry.
999.
999? Yeah, what are you going to report? A man with...
Please.
Oh, let me hear this. Man with a camera.
Please. It's harassment.
You've come out and harassed me, I'm not harassing you.
Hi there, and there's just on the industrial estate in Louth, and there's a strange chap walking around filming businesses and...
The worker wastes no time calling police, labeling the auditor as a strange chap for recording outside local businesses. But nothing about the auditor's behavior was unusual or unlawful. He openly explained his purpose and made no effort to hide it. The worker even described him as nosy, as though curiosity alone was suspicious. Yet curiosity is not a crime, and filming in public is fully legal. Rather than handle the situation rationally, the worker escalated it, dragging in law enforcement over personal discomfort. When officers arrived, instead of cooling tensions, they made matters worse, flexing authority where no crime existed and setting the stage for a confrontation built on feelings instead of facts.
Called
Yep.
about somebody matching your description.
Absolutely, yeah, I'll give him the video. I'm still there when he called. I think it's this one that called you, wasn't it?
So what's the crack? What's going on?
Just doing a bit of videoing today.
Sorry?
Just doing a bit of videoing today.
Okay, what's the purpose of the video?
My purpose, really?
No. What's the purpose of the video?
Sorry? No. My purpose, really. Thank you.
What is the purpose of the video?
Do I have to answer that question?
Well, yeah, because it
Well,
may be that you're breaking the law by if you
doing what? What law do you think I've broken?
Well, we'll start with GDPR rules.
Okay, that's nothing to do with the police, is it?
Is it not?
No. And it isn't anyway, because I'm public. I'm in public. I can film anything I can see in public, can't I?
Yeah, you can film in public.
Yeah.
But if you're overflying private premises and videoing stuff that's on there, then that becomes a little bit of a...
As the discussion unfolds, one officer makes a claim so absurd it borders on law.
Glider goes over, they're not allowed to video, is that what you're saying?
Well, aeroplanes won't be able to pick up as much detail as a drone overflying some specific premises.
Small aeroplanes?
What is the purpose behind? What interest do you have in filming?
It's fine, I like industrial estates, so I go to industrial estates making videos of companies I find interesting. Are you recording?
No.
It's flashing. There's a green light flashing.
Yes, it is.
Is that recording?
It's flashing red, then I'll be recording.
Right, okay.
The green is not recording, so
Right,
what law
because
have I broken?
we don't know, you see, so we don't know that. So, but if you are not recording, that's fine. But you would have, one of your procedures you would have broke if you hadn't told me that.
Why is that?
Because you have to inform me. As well, you mentioned GDPR.
I can film anything I want in public. You've just come back.
No, not you. No, you're filming it as a company. You're an officer working for the law. You have to, via GDPR rules, you have to tell me. Like the...
Rather than conceding the point, the officer tries to turn the auditor's own words against him, parroting back, "I can film anything I want in public." But this attempt at cleverness immediately collapses. The auditor reminds him that officers themselves are bound by GDPR, which requires them to notify the public when recording with body-worn cameras. That's the irony. Officers demand accountability from others while ignoring their own obligations. The exchange highlights a deep hypocrisy. The very people meant to uphold the law bend it when it comes to transparency and accountability.
So, what are we going to do about you filming? Because it's clearly causing annoyance to people.
That's not my problem. I'm in the public area filming. I'm not annoying anybody. They're annoying me, to be honest. They're actually annoying me. And they're annoying me. They come out and annoy me. He did. They annoyed me. I don't report them because I thought, well, just go back to work and leave me to it. So if you think I'm breaking any laws, then please quote the laws I'm breaking. Because I'm not breaking.
This case is a textbook example of officers confusing emotions with law. The auditor is filming legally in a public space. Whether workers or passers-by find it irritating or uncomfortable is irrelevant in a legal sense. Police are not hired to enforce feelings. Yet again, the officer chose to act as if annoyance equaled illegality, trying to pressure the auditor into leaving. That is not policing. That is appeasement at the expense of rights. Discomfort cannot erase lawful freedoms, and any officer who acts as though it does reveals a serious gap in training and professionalism.
That's wrong, isn't it, surely?
It's not the fact that I can't get you on anything, it's just that you are causing somebody enough annoyance, and they're worried about people's private details being published on the internet and what have you, because there are certain things that are visible from or to your drone camera.
Yeah.
And they are rightly concerned that those will be published on the internet.
Absolutely, can be concerned. Put them inside. Because anybody, I can go on that public path and fly my drone. I could have done it secretly. I let them know what I'm doing.
Okay, but from their point of view,
yeah.
Can you see why it would cause an annoyance if you are entirely in the right and you are exercising your right as a person to do something that they don't want you to do?
Yeah. That's
and
right.
You refuse to stop when you've been asked, even though it's their premises that are affected by your actions.
Well, they said there, we're highly secret, blah, blah, blah. They're a fragrance company. I'm like, highly secret fragrances, really? You know, people really build themselves up to be bigger than they are, just to try to stop people exercising their God-given right, legal rights in this country. Legal rights in this country to video anything I can see from.
Far too many businesses behave as though their internal policies somehow override national law. They insist photography is prohibited on their property, then extend that false authority onto public space outside their gates. Managers and employees misuse terms like GDPR, privacy laws, and company policy as weapons to deter filming. But none of it applies to members of the public in lawful spaces. What it really comes down to is control, an attempt to intimidate people into compliance. By pushing back, auditors expose this widespread misunderstanding, revealing how private entities often exaggerate their powers in hopes of silencing scrutiny.
An issue because you can't see it from a public place because your drone is going into a private place to take these images.
It's flying over in the airspace which is controlled by the Civil Aviation Authority, and I obey all the laws for flying my drone. Civil Aviation Authority, there's no restrictions flying in this area, on this estate, wherever, so I can fly my drone free will all over this place. I feel you're annoyed. I don't understand. You're not the feelings police. You've got to remember this. You're not the feelings police. You're here to feel.
I'm not the feelings police. I just find it incomprehensible that
But you're like him. It's not up to you to understand what I'm here to do. It's not up to you to understand that, is it? If I'm here and not breaking any law, then...
What makes this encounter even more telling is that the auditor eventually has to instruct the officer to walk away. That shouldn't be necessary. When no crime is present, the professional response is for officers to disengage. Instead, this officer lingers, projecting annoyance rather than lawful authority. By remaining on scene without cause, he makes it clear the issue isn't with the law, it's with the individual exercising his rights. This is poor policing in its purest form, substituting personal frustration for legal justification and staying involved simply to assert dominance rather than to uphold justice.
Delivery is out in the yard waiting to be picked up, and people's, their clients' details, addresses, and what have you are on display.
Tell me this, officer. Do they have the right to tell me to stop videoing?
I think they've probably got the right to stop you from overflying their premises.
No, you're wrong. You're wrong. You're incorrect.
I think they probably do.
I think you're incorrect.
If you look at the contracts when you buy a house, the property you own, then you also own the airspace above it. It doesn't stop at the roof of the house.
Maybe you do. That's all a bit grey, but...
So if you're overflying their property, then that does become a point where...
Right. Can you hear in the sky?
Sorry?
Can you hear in the sky? There's an airplane flying over.
Yes, there is.
So as he asked him...
Then, in a moment of perfect timing, an A-plane flies overhead. The auditor seizes the chance, pointing to the sky and asking, do they need permission to fly over private property? The question lands like a hammer blow, dismantling the officer's flimsy logic in seconds. Airspace doesn't belong to businesses, and just like airplanes, drones flying within legal limits don't require landowner consent. The officer has no response, because the truth is obvious. The example highlights the absurdity of trying to control lawful activity from the ground when the law is already crystal clear. The auditor's quick wit exposes just how weak the challenge really was.
I understand what you're saying. People kind of have this thing, they do own some of it.
Can your drone fly 20,000
I think obviously if they don't want you flying over, like next to their businesses where there's information shown and things like that, I think they're polite, so politely have to stop. Obviously I appreciate you've said it's escalated. If they'd like you to stop, then just want to keep things, you know.
Well, what about my thing? So what about me? I've come here to make videos, and I want to make the video. So what about my thing?
Okay, well,
what about respect for me?
You could just please not get any kind of private information involved in that.
Well, that's not on me though. That's on them. You can't. If they've left private information out.
If you do publish these videos online,
Yep.
can you make sure that the information is unreadable?
I'll do my best if I think.
The auditor then reinforces his point by addressing another common misconception. If a business truly has confidential material, it should be secured properly, not left exposed to the public. Blaming a photographer for capturing what is already visible is misguided. He also explains that his drone is operating 30 to 50 meters above ground, far too high to record details like faces or private documents. This makes the officer's argument even weaker. Instead of acknowledging the company's responsibility to safeguard its own information, the officer continues clinging to hypotheticals and emotion-based objections, avoiding the fact that no law was being broken at all.
Think carefully what you're going to say next. I know there's one answer to this, and it begins with N.
So the answer begins with
N.
N for
No. When I said, do I need to?
well.
No, there's not a well, there's no buts to it. It's either a yes or a no.
It's open to interpretation. It depends, because if I feel that you've been involved in ASP, then yes, you do.
ASP?
The Police Reform Act.
What's ASP?
Things take an even stranger turn when the auditor asks directly, "Do I have to?" The officer responds, "It depends. If I feel you've been involved in antisocial behavior, then yes." That single phrase, "if I feel," is the problem. Law cannot be enforced on feelings. The Police Reform Act 2002, Section 50, allows officers to demand details only when there is actual evidence of antisocial behavior, not vague suspicion. By framing it around personal emotion, the officer reveals just how dangerously subjective his approach is. Law enforcement cannot hinge on what an officer personally feels. It must rest on clear, legal grounds.
Also against you if you arrested me for antisocial behaviour, for a man with a camera, then I think you'll be into a.
Suggesting that having a
I will take you to court. I will take you to court for that.
I'm suggesting, however, that you've been involved in an altercation, either one side or the other, and if I decide that that constitutes antisocial behaviour, then I can require you to provide me with your name and address details.
You can, if you think I've committed a crime. But do you think I've committed a crime?
If you've been involved in ASP.
No, if you think I've committed a crime, you can ask me.
If you've been involved in ASP, that's how it works.
If you think I've committed a crime, if that's right, you're thinking I've been involved in ASP, which is a crime, isn't it? So if you think I've committed a crime.
ASP isn't necessarily a crime, but one of the police powers that we have is to request the information from somebody who's been involved in ASP.
Right.
So you've been involved in an argument because you've refused to comply with somebody else's wishes. When,
This moment exposes how antisocial behavior powers are often twisted beyond their purpose. Exercising your rights is not antisocial. Simply refusing to leave because someone doesn't like being filmed is not disruptive. It's lawful. These laws were designed to tackle genuine issues like harassment, intimidation, and dangerous conduct, not to criminalize everyday activities. When officers misuse them as a pressure tactic, it highlights poor training and legal incompetence. Instead of protecting freedoms, they weaponize vague definitions to justify unnecessary intervention. That's not safeguarding the public. It's undermining civil rights.
It's not feelings, police. There has been a confrontation between you and somebody else.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
That to me is antisocial behaviour.
From his side, correct? Yeah.
Okay. So
go get their name and address and all information.
We'll be going over there in a minute.
It's not antisocial behaviour. It's rubbish.
Would you like just to provide your details? Obviously, you've said there's been a crime of public order because they've shouted and sworn at you. You don't want to make a complaint. Would you like to provide your details to go on the crime report?
At this time, no. If I get home and I feel that I do need to, when I watch the video back and I do feel that it was bad enough,
Can I
then
give you the instant number then? Just to
yes, please, absolutely give me the instant. Yeah, definitely.
If you'd like to provide your details.
Yep. So I'll write that down. Right, but you won't be getting my name because if I did it anonymously. So if you're thinking that I'm going to do that, so you get my name.
No. It's just obviously if you want to provide your details.
What's the date
Is
today?
there any particular reason you won't provide your details?
Yes, one massive one.
What's that?
I don't want to.
What would it gain by withholding your details?
What would it gain? Now, okay,
Lose you to
right. So let me just reverse that back. So what it would gain for you if I provide my details, that goes straight.
Spoken to.
It goes, doesn't matter though, does it? It goes straight on your Intel. You put this description, my name, all my details on your Intel. I don't want to be on your Intel. So
You're doing nothing wrong. What's the harm?
no, you can't use that. No, I have.
That's a question. I'm not using it. I'm asking you a question.
Well, yeah. Well, you can't say if you're doing nothing wrong. Why don't you give your name? That's just rubbish, isn't it? I don't have to give my name, do I? And I don't want to. It's as simple as that.
Fine, you don't want to. But what would be the harm?
I've just told you it'll go on your Intel. So it'll go against the incident. It'll go on your Intel. I don't want to be on your system.
The auditor also calls out another common tactic: officers requesting personal details just because. Even when no crime has occurred, police often attempt to collect names and addresses under the guise of harmless questioning. But the real aim is to gather intelligence, building databases on law-abiding people without legal course. This is policing people, not policing crime. By refusing, the auditor highlights why it is important to withhold information unless legally required. It protects individuals from being catalogued unnecessarily and exposes how routine these overreaches have quietly become.
And then we come across you. How do we know who you are? Might help us.
Well, I think when you come, I'll give you my name then. What?
We don't know. You don't want to give it.
Well, I would if I got beaten up and I'm going to take them to court ready to or get you guys to do something about it. Then I wouldn't.
Anything else we can help with?
Not for me, no. I don't. If you want to speak to these guys, but
chat with them over there, and obviously
absolutely.
Things as well.
Yeah, no problem. Okay.
Thank you very much indeed.
All right. Thank you. Cheers.
Finally, the encounter ends not because the officer acknowledges his mistake, but because another officer steps in and shuts it down. That alone says everything about how poorly the first officer handled the situation. Throughout the exchange, he misapplied laws, conflated feelings with facts, and stretched legal definitions far beyond recognition. From wrongly citing GDPR to twisting antisocial behavior laws, his goal was never about upholding rights. It was about controlling the auditor. The truth is simple. There was never a reason for police to be involved at all. The auditor broke no laws, yet he was treated as a nuisance to be managed. Only the presence of a camera ensured accountability. Without it, this misuse of power might have gone unchecked. It stands as one of the clearest examples yet of why filming the police is not only legal, but essential.